Hey everybody, it's Bruce here with some more Python stuff on string methods. And if you've been coding along with courses such as Harvard CS50P, Intro to Programming with Python, you may have seen right in the first module that you're introduced to something called string methods. Now, I'm on the official Python site here, and this particular page and all of these what are called string methods are linked to from the CS50P problem sets, and you're going to need these to solve a lot of the problems. Just saying, all right? So let me head over to Visual Studio Code. Let me dismiss this thing in the lower right. And you may have seen things such as .lower and .upper, right? So if we have a string, I'm just going to declare drummer name. And I'm going to say, that's me, Bruce Elgort, right? I assigned a string to this variable called drummer name. And drummer name, as you recall, is in camel case notation, where the first letter of the first word is in lowercase, and then subsequent, the start of subsequent words, right, are in uppercase. So if I were to do something like here, print out the drummer name variable and using the lower, right, string method, if I run my code here in the terminal, right, it prints out the lowercase version of the string Bruce Elgort, which is assigned to the variable named drummer name, right? And as you guessed, right, upper will convert it all to uppercase. The is lower, right, and is upper methods can detect, right, and tell you maybe you're going to use this in a conditional, right, an if statement, right, whether a particular letter, right, maybe you're iterating through a string here. Let me just show you an example here, okay? So I'm going to use the string on line 4 that I defined, drummer name, and I'm just going to iterate for every letter in drummer name, okay? And then I'm going to use a conditional and say, well, if the letter, right, is upper, right, is upper, just like that, colon, print, yep, that letter is uppercase. Okay, just for playing around, all right? I'm going to comment out line 4. We don't want that right now, okay? So I'm going to clear my terminal, and I'm going to run again, right? So the code here, right, on lines 14, 15, and 16 detected the occurrence of 2 uppercase letters, right, in the string drummer name, and that was the B and the E. So again, is lower and is upper, you can use those in conditionals because they're going to evaluate to either true if the character, the letter, or whatever you're iterating through is in fact uppercase. It'll evaluate to true, and the same thing with lower. If it's not, it's going to evaluate to false. So in this conditional here, if the letter that's being iterated through, right, we're looping through on line 14, one letter, one character at a time in the string drummer name, if it detects that it's upper, it's going to execute the indented code, print, yep, that is uppercase, all right? So you can begin to see how these string methods are going to be really important in your work and learning in Python. So the strip method, I just want to show you this. Check this out. So before I show you strip, I'm going to comment out this code right here. So I'm highlighting this code, and then I'm just on a Mac, command slash on a PC, I believe, and I should have known this correctly, I believe it is control slash, and I'll fix that in the description of this video if I got it wrong. I tend to work mostly on a Mac, my apologies. But watch this. So here's our drummer name string. In fact, I'm going to just move it down here so you can see it. All right, there it is. All right, so let's say, actually before I do anything, I'm going to print out the length of this string. How long is the string Bruce Elgort? How long is that string, right? So if I run my code, it's telling me it has a length of 12 characters, right? And let me just show you this. If I add a space on line 18 at the beginning, or I add a space at the end, if I run this code again, it's now 14, right? But Python, right, has the ability to strip off any blank spaces at the beginning or end of a string. So if I take this drummer name variable that's holding the characters space, my name space, and I append to it the strip method, let's see how long the length is now. Here we go. I'm going to hit clear, type clear. Now it's back to 12. So just know that you can use the strip string method to remove spaces, right, on the left and right hand side of a string. Now the other thing that you see what I've typed out here is .rstrip and .lstrip. .rstrip will only remove spaces from the right of the string, and lstrip here will remove spaces right from the left. It's actually spaces and tabs for clarification. So there you go. You look at this, you know, upper, right? Actually upper, lower, is upper, strip, rstrip, and lstrip. These are all string methods you're gonna use a lot. All right, so I'm gonna comment out my code here. Yeah, let's comment that out. And let me just paste in my statement right here, drummer name. And there's a couple others that I tend to use a lot, and you probably will too. And those are endswith and startswith. Let's just do those two first. So check this out. Let me use a conditional and say, hey, if the variable drummer name, right, dot, that's the method, ends with, and let's put in here ort, right? If it ends with that, I'm just going to print out, yep, it ends with ort, right? Just something goofy, right? So let me clear my terminal. Let me run the code again, and look at that. Yep, it ends with ort, right? Because this particular condition evaluated to true. If I change this to ERT just for fun, right, nothing gets printed out because our conditional here doesn't do anything else, right? I could add an else in a print, but I just wanted to show you that, right? So let me put this back to ORT, and let's change this to starts with, and let's change it to BRU. And just because you're asking, yes, it starts with BRU, right? I'm going to add the else, right, for the condition here, right? If it's not true, if it doesn't start with capital B, lowercase ru, then it's going to need to print out, nope, does not start with BRU. All right, BRU. I'm so used to typing my name. All right, so make sure you like and subscribe to this channel if you like what you're seeing. And also, if you have, something you'd like to see, a particular topic in your Python studies, your Python learning, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear, and I love creating these videos for you to see. All right, so let's run it. Yep, it starts with BRU. Now, what if I do this? Lowercase BRU. Does it still? Oh, nope. It's because it's doing an exact, case match, okay? So just be aware of that, right? So could you, just so you know, because I see you out there, I know you're thinking about it, right? So what if I put the this back to capital B? Could I do something like this? Could I say, hey, right, convert, I'm on line 30. Could I first convert the string to lowercase and then detect if it starts with lowercase bru, right? So what I'm doing is I'm going to force this to lowercase and then check to see if it starts with bru, right? So for instance, that's capital, right? But I'm checking for lowercase here. So let us live dangerously here and look at that. See, we're able to detect since we've first forced it to lowercase and then we applied the starts with, method. All right. So even if I do this, right? Even if I do BRU, I'm on line 29 and I run it, right? It's still going to evaluate to true, right? But if I say I'll put the letter A in there and I run my code again in the terminal, nope, does not start with BRU. Now, let me tell you, that starts with and ends with, you got it. You're gonna use those a lot. I know so. All right. So the other three things I want to show you are these three methods here. In fact, I'm gonna bring them down here. I'm gonna comment out my code just like that, all of it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna I'll paste in. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Let me just grab this stuff right here on line 27. Let me copy it, let me paste it, and let me make it back to BRUCE, just like that. And let me just show you, right? So isdigit, isalpha, is isalnum. All right. Actually, I'm going to change this here to, let me just make this 59. All right. So what about this? Could I use these string methods? String methods. I have a number here. So what if I do this? I make that number a string here, right? Because these methods are string methods. They only apply to strings that may contain numbers in them, right? So let me show you. Check this out. If drummer name, even though that's, I should put drummer age. Let's do that. Drummer age is 59. And then I'll apply the isdigit, okay? The isdigit method. If that's true, right? If in fact drummer is a digit, right? These are numbers here. This is going to return true. So check this out. Print. Yep. It's a number. Okay. Let me clear. Let me run it. Oh, I got an error. Error, drummer name is not defined because, Bruce, look at that. Drummer age. Mistakes are good. That's, and as a professional, I make them a lot. Okay, so let me run this again. Yep, it's a number, right? But as soon as I go in here and I add, say, a letter, check it out. Nothing happened. So let me just add an else print. I'll put a sad face just for now, just because. Why not? Okay, there we go. Close the string. And let me run it again. We get the sad face. So this is just a really neat way to check if the contents of a string, right, are digits. All right. So isalpha is going to help us determine whether or not something is alphanumeric, right? So if I type in here, let's go back to drummer name, and I'll type in Bruce, and I'll change this to isalpha, right? Print, it's the letters A through Z, okay? And I'll use the sad face, and I'll go back to drummer name here. And, ready? Let me clear, run the code. It says, yep, it's the letters A through Z. But as soon as I introduce, say, a numeric value, like a digit, check it out, sad face. All right, so you see this stuff is pretty powerful. All right, so isdigit is for a number, 0 through 9, right? Isalpha is going to check for the characters, A through Z. And what's this one? Isalnum. So that's going to be, is it alpha, alpha, or numeric, right? So this now, if I use this method, let me go here, is, A-L-N-U-M, ready? And numbers 0 through 9, right? Let me run this. I'm in the terminal. I'm going to clear. I'm going to hit the up arrow. I'm going to go run the Python code, and yep, it's the letters A through Z and the numbers 0 through 9. Woo, pretty neat. But as soon as I add in here, say, some punctuation, like a minus sign, right, a dash, and I rerun the code, it fails, right? We are, the direction of our conditional goes to the else, right? Same thing, if I add in here a period, right? Sad face, right? Even if I put spaces, let's see what happens here. So let me just go back here. Let me go, whoops, let me go run this code again. We get a sad face because that's not the characters A through Z or the numbers 0 through 9. All right, so I hope this short lesson on some of these string methods is going to help you with your work in learning Python. Again, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, leave a request. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.